Hello everyone, Norma Woodcock speaking to you from Perth in Western Australia. I'd like to speak into the 18th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year B, and the theme, Are You Hungry? This is a continuation of last week's Gospel where Jesus gave bread to the people and now here they are coming back and wanting more bread. And Jesus tells them that He is the bread come down from heaven. Primarily, the teaching given by Jesus is what He means by I am the bread. Secondary level doesn't refer to the Eucharist. And so I want to focus today really on the second reading, Ephesians 4:17 and 20 to 24. And so what it says is you must give up your old way of life, you must put aside your old self, and then this most powerful phrase, your mind must be renewed by a spiritual revolution, so that you can put on the new self that has been created in God's way, in the goodness and the holiness of the truth. So neuroscientists are saying this. Brain scans show that the parts of the brain activated by action are the same parts of the brain activated by simply thinking about an action. And so the focus for me tying in with the gospel is which one or ones of Jesus' teachings do you need to do? And I have worked with people where their thoughts have been continually wanting to move away from the relationship, the healthy marriage they're in, so they can actually move ahead with somebody else, and their thoughts are taking them to think about that woman or about that man. And I have to say to them, you are activating parts of your brain. The more you think about it, the more you're actually going to go and do it. And so what needs to happen is you need to capture again those thoughts of your imagination. You need to hear what Jesus is saying. So if it's in the area of lust, and I just got a feeling I'm speaking to people today, you do have a healthy marriage. It may not be everything that you would like it to be, but it takes work. It's going to take time. Do not go sideways. Do not let your emotions, your desires just take you in another direction, but stay with God. Watch your thinking, and allow God to transform you in the midst of this marriage. But I have to share that one of Jesus' teachings that I had to apply very early in my journey and didn't want to do, and didn't like doing at all, was in regards to forgiveness. In our journey we're married, my husband and I, 53 years actually next week. And 53 years is a long time, but in the early days there was a lot of damage. We had both hurt each other, and he had hurt me. And I could remember when he would leave for work in those very early days, I would just be thinking about all the things that he had done, how he'd let me down, when he wasn't there when I needed him, and I would stew inside, and there'd be hatred boiling up, and when he came home, we'd have World War III. Then Jesus began to guide me to begin to think about what I was thinking about, and to start to focus on two good things about my husband when he was gone. And when I searched, I found my two most, I would say, areas of dysfunction is I'm not naturally generous. He just is very generous. I like that in him, especially when he's generous towards me, as every woman would. And the other area is again an area of my dysfunction, is that I am not very tolerant, but he is enormously tolerant all the time. Amazing. So, in fact, I'm going to take a minute to share with you. One morning after my very early prayer time, I saw this huge black cockroach on the ground. It was actually before my prayer time, and I didn't want to use my slipper, so I got his thong and I smashed the black cockroach, and I went and had my prayer time. When I finished my prayer time, he said to me, what are these black marks all over the white carpet? And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, I used your thong to kill this big black cockroach. I'm so sorry. And you know what he said to me? That's all right, love, I'll clean it up. I would have said, why didn't you use your own slipper? Why didn't you clean it up? You know that it's messy, etc., etc. So when I began to focus on the many, many ways in the marriage in which there were so many pluses, when I focused on that, when I magnified that, when he came home at night, we had a honeymoon. And so I guess what I'm saying to you today is what you magnify is what you're going to get. and you're going to be sick if you magnify negatives all the time. You're going to be healthy if you start to follow Jesus' teaching and put into effect some of these things that I have talked about, and there are a million more, I'm quite sure. Even as I've been talking to you, you've been going, well, lust isn't, and forgiveness, it isn't my area, but definitely, Norma, it's these areas here. Let Jesus' teachings transform you from the inside out, and then you will be healthy, and then you will be well, and then you will be joyful, and then you will be peaceful. God bless you. Thanks for listening. Look forward to seeing you again next week.